हरि ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अद्य श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतायाः प्रथमभागस्य एकविंशतितमं दिनं वयं प्रार्थनया आरभामहे। द्वितीयाध्यायस्य 14 श्लोकः। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत। पदच्छेदः। अत्र मात्रास्पर्शाः तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनः अनित्याः तान् तितिक्षस्व भारत। अत्र मात्रास्पर्शास्तु तत्र विसर्गस्य सत्वं, पुनः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तत्र विसर्गस्य उत्तुवे गुणसन्धौ पुनः पूर्वरूपसन्धिः, पुनः अनित्यास्तान् तत्र विसर्गस्य सत्वं, तान् तितिक्षस्व तत्र पुनः अनुस्वारागमः, ततः परं सत्वं च भवति, तां तितिक्षस्व भारत। अग्रे पदपरिचयं पश्यामश्चेत् अत्र मात्रास्पर्शाः इत्यत्र सरलः विग्रहः तु मात्राणां स्पर्शः, मात्रास्पर्शः, ते इति बहुवचने मात्रास्पर्शाः इति। पुनः अत्र मात्रा नाम मीयन्ते अनया इति मात्रा, instrument to measure is मात्रा अत्र करणार्थे। पुनः स्पर्शः नाम संयोगः इति तत्र सरलः अर्थः। अत्र मात्राः मीन्स् मीयन्ते अभिः इति मात्राः, अथवा एकवचने मीयन्ते अनया इति मात्रा। one which is used to measure is matra. अत्र अस्मिन् प्रसंगे इन्द्रियम् इति अर्थः। Indriyam is used to measure something. It actually measure in the sense it is used to sense something. So in that sense it is matra नाम इन्द्रियम्। अत्र मात्राणां स्पर्शः नाम इन्द्रियाणां स्पर्शः इति उच्यते। The samyoga or samyoga of indriyams. And again kaunteya etad kuntehe apatyam puman iti kaunteyah tasya sambodhanarupam kaunteya. पुनः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः अत्र शीतं च उष्णं च शीतोष्णम् इति नपुंसकलिङ्गे एकवचनान्तं रूपम्। पुनः सुखं च दुःखं च सुख दुःखे इति पुनः द्वन्द्वसमासः, उभयत्र द्वन्द्वसमासः, शीतोष्णं पुनः सुख दुःखे। शीतोष्णं च सुख दुःखे च इति शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखानि। ओके, and तानि ददाति इति शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदः, बहुवचने शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः अवगम्यते इति मन्ये। So here when it comes to samasa vigraha, there are ways we can also do, like शीतं च उष्णं च सुखं च दुःखं च शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखानि तानि ददाति इति शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः, बहुवचने शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखदाः. So that's a simpler way they interpret. But if you want to go, if you want to align with the actual tatparyam, the vigraha is done in these parts. First they make a sandhi vigraha for Shitoshnam, then the Sukha Dukkham, then combine them as a Dvandva Samasa Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhani, And again then with Upapada Samasa, Shitoshna Sukha Dukkha Daha. So hope you are able to follow this. And next one is Agama Atra Agamaha cha Apayah cha iti Agamapayo. Agamapayo isya saha iti Agamapayin. Te iti bahuvachane Agamapayinah. So Agamaha nama Jananam iti artha, Apayaha nama Nashaha iti artha, Apagamanam iti artha. Athwa that means one which comes in, which goes out. That is called Agama Apayi. So then the Bahuvachanam, they which come and which go is Agama Apayinaha. And Anityaha, na Nityaha Anityaha, Naisa Tatpurusha Samasaha. Anantaram Titikshasva Titikshate iti लट्लकार रूपम, तितिक्षस्व इति लोट्लकार मध्यमपुरुष एकवचनान्तं रूपम. पुनः भारत इति संबोधना रूपम. अन्वयं पश्यामश्चेत् अत्र सन्ति इति क्रियापदं के सन्ति अथवा कानि सन्ति, मात्रास्पर्शाः सन्ति. मात्रास्पर्शाः कीदृशाः सन्ति चेत् शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखदाः सन्ति, आगमापायिनः सन्ति, अनित्याः सन्ति, मात्रास्पर्शाः इति तत्र सरलान्वयः. अतः अत्र पश्यामः चेत् मात्राणां स्पर्शः कीदृशः भवति चेत् मात्राणां स्पर्शः. So when you get when indriyam senses something, right, how it feels, tad kim karoti chet tad शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखानि ददाति. अतः शीतोष्ण सुख dukkadaha matra sparshaha. So the matra sparsha will give shitam, ushnam, sukham and dukkham. Okay, we'll talk about shitoshna sukha dukkham later. So which the indriya sparshaha shitoshna sukha dukkadaha bhavati. Punaha agamapayi bhavati. Tannama tad agachati tad nirgachati. Agachati nirgachati. Udbhavati nirgachati. Tatha arthaha. So matra sparshaha they come and go, and it's a anityaha. So they are all they're all transient. It doesn't have any it doesn't stay forever. So tatha arthaha. Punaha he bharata tan titikshasva. So tan nama matra sparshan tan titikshasva itukte sahasva iti arthaha. You bear that or tolerate that. So this is what the sarala artha atra. Multiple ways the matra sparsha, this word is interpreted. The simpler one is indriyanam samyogaha. So indriyanam samyogaha sheetam dadyat, ushnam dadyat, sukham dadyat, dukkham dadyat. It is saralaha artha. So when you have when indriya connects with any of the objects around it, here the example is taken as the twak as an indriyam, which is taken as example, and the twak, when it gets a sparsha with any object, it may generate it. You may feel sheetam, you may feel ushnam, you may feel sukham, and you may feel dukkham. So that is what the similar to twak. All the indriyas will behave the same way. They produce either sukham or dukkham. So for example, if we take a netram as indriya, netranam sparshaha athva netranam sparshaha iti vadamah chet netranam darshanam. Atra netranam netrayoho darshanam katham bhavati chet netrayoho darshanena sukham syat athva dukkham syat. So when the netram, the indriyam, I say netram as indriyam, but it is not directly connected. But the darshanendriyam, that is which is responsible to see the things. So that when it connects with some objects, when it sees some object, that samyoga can generate sukham or it can produce dukkham. Similarly, for all the indriyams, the same thing. When any indriyam, when it connects to their corresponding object, it can produce sukham or dukkham. Okay, and here the Shitoshna is given is an example for the Twagindriyam. So Twak is Indriyam. It's basically in a normal way, it's skin or any when the skin connects with some object, you may feel Shitam or Ushnam. Given. So now Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhani, if you see, the way it is interpreted is Indriya Sparshaha Shitam अथवा उष्णम अथवा सुखम अथवा दुःखम दद्यात् इति उच्यते वस्तुतः वस्तुतः actual तात्पर्यम् is not that way. So मात्राणां स्पर्शः शीतोष्णं दद्यात् शीतं कदाचित् सुखं भवेत् कदाचित् दुःखं भवेत् उष्णं कदाचित् सुखं भवेत् कदाचित् दुःखं भवेत्. So that is how it is interpreted. It's not that, it's not in the Samana Adhikaranam. So the Indriya Sparsha will not generate all four. Indriya Sparsha can generate only Shitam or Ushnam. That is when skin touches something, we only feel Ushnam or Shitam. And internally, that Shitam and Ushnam can produce Dukkham or Sukham. Similarly, when we hear something with our ears, we hear some sound, some different way sounds, and that is nothing but the Shitoshna, equivalent to Shitoshnam. And those sounds can make you feel Sukham or Dukkham. And similarly, if you take a Netram, you see some object, that object may be on any color or any properties that we perceive through our vision, and those can produce Sukham or Dukkham. Okay, so that is how that is where the vigraha of this sentence goes this way: Shitoshnam Sukha Dukkhe cha iti Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhani. So that is how it is interpreted. It's not in the Samana Adhikaranam that we have to understand. So the any Indriya Sparsha will produce Shitoshnadi Ushnadi Janayati Indriya Sparshaha te tu Sukha Dukkhani जनयन्ति इति तत्र भावः. पुनः एते भावाः अथवा एते एषः स्पर्शः तु आगमापायी अस्ति. So this sparsha is will come and will go away. So that means it is anitya. That is what tatparyam is finally. The feelings that you get with the matra sparsha is anityam. Ataha kim karaniyam taan titikshasva. So you tolerate them. Okay, so this is what is said in the thing. Now let's see the Vyakhyanam. Atra matraha abhihi miyante shabdadeyaha iti shrotradini indriyani matraha. So miyante shabdadeyaha iti matraha. So by which we measure the shabda and others. So shabda rasagandha ityadi nam manam yebhihi kriyate iti matraha. So the matra is nothing but the indriyam, the shrotradini indriyani. And the shrotra and others are the examples for indriya. And matranam sparshaha, atra matranam sparshaha iti tatra vigraha. Atra sparshaha means shabdadibihi samyogaha sparshaha. So the samyoga which happens with the shabda and other objects, that samyoga is nothing but the sparsha. So, and again, te sitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. So those samyogas, they are shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. That samyoga can generate shitoshna sukha dukkhani. So shitam ushnam sukham dukkham cha prayachanti iti shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. Punaha athva Sprishyante iti. Okay, this is the first meaning of matra sparshaha. So matranam sparshaha, matranam samyogaha iti, indriyanam samyogaha. The second interpretation is sprishyante iti sparshaha, one which is touched or one which is felt is sparshaha. Tannama vishayaha shabdadeyaha sparshaha. The sparsha, the first meaning, the sparshaha means samyogaha. And the second one, sparshaha means vishayaha. If I see a book, the book is vishaya. The book is actually called as sparshaha. When you hear any shabda, ramaha, that rama shabdaha sparshaha. सो तथा अत्र द्वितीयार्थे तथा अवगम्यते. अतः अत्र मात्राः स्पर्शाः च शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः. The indriyams and the objects of those indriyams, they generate शीतोष्ण सुखदुःखानि. This is the second interpretation. And Sheetam Kadachit Sukham Kadachit Dukkham. That Sheetam can produce Sukham, can produce Dukkham. So the example here is, it's a very popular example. Sheetam Kadachit Sukham Kadachit Dukkham means when we experience the coldness does not feel always good. Sometimes we feel bad about it. If you have more cold, it यदि अतिशैत्यं भवति तदानीं दुःखं जनयति. यदि वृष्टि यदि ग्रीष्मकाले यदि शैत्यं भवति तदानीं तत् सुखं भवति. सो तथा शीतमेव अत्र एकमेव अस्ति तत्र, परन्तु तदेव सुखमपि जनयति दुःखमपि जनयति इति तत्र भावः. तथा उष्णमपि अनियतस्वरूपं. So even Ushnam also the same, it also has the same behavior. So Grishma Kale Ushnam Dukkham Janayati Tadeva Vrishti Kale अथवा Varsha Kale Tadeva Ushnam Sukham Janayati. अतः तत्र अनियत स्वरूपम् अस्ति. अतः सुख दुःखे पुनः नियत रूपे यथो न व्यभिचरतः. So the Ushnam and Sheetam, that can change the behavior. It can produce Sukham or Dukkham, but Sukham at the end, the Sukham or Dukkham, that doesn't change. And again, Ataha Tabhyam Prithak Shitoshnayōho Grahanam. So the Shitoshnam, which keeps changing, the Sukham and Dukkham doesn't change. That's a common output for any of the sense objects that we sense. So that's why we split it. So that's why अतः ताभ्यां पृथक् शीतोष्णयोः ग्रहणम्. यस्मात् ते मात्रास्पर्शादयः आगमापायिनः आगमापायशीलाः तस्मात् अनित्याः. I think this is a normal simpler one. अतः तान् शीतोष्णादीन् तितिक्षस्व प्रसहस्व. So you just tolerate the शीतोष्ण powers. and तेषु अर्षं विषादं वा मा कार्षीहि इत्यर्थः. So, because when you get Sukham, don't express Arsha. When you experience Dukkham, don't express Vishada. So, you be neutral in both these conditions. अतः अस्तु. एतेन अत्र व्याख्यानं समाप्यते. अत्र किम् उच्यते? तितिक्षा इत्यनेन सहनम् इति उच्यते. अत्र कीदृशसहनम् इत्यत्र अधः विवरणं दृश्यते. अप्रतीकारं सहनं स्यात् तथा अचिन्तया सहनं स्यात् इति तत्र उच्यते. So when you say you bear the शीतोष्णं, you tolerate that. That means you tolerate without complaining it. You just accept it. That's the meaning of titiksha. So here the thing is that actual tatparyam is all these feelings that we get with the indriya sparsha, they are all anityam. They come and they go, and they produce sukham and dukkham. So you tolerate them. So how you tolerate? You just accept. That is their behavior. It comes and they come and they go. You just accept their behavior, and that's the titiksha. And apratikara titiksha. That means you don't complain them. So you don't complain that it is very hot, it is very cold, because that is the behavior of that particular indriya sparsha. So you just accept it and you bear it and move on. So that is the overall tatparyam here. I think we were discussing the earliest shloka how the Pandita will also get Shita and Ushna and other all these bhavas. What will they do? They do only, this is Sukshma mantraha atra. Titiksha eva tatra mantraha. They just do the titiksha. They just tolerate all these things because they know that these are all temporary things. They come and they go, and these are all generated because of the indriya sparsha. So they know this fact, so they just bear it and they accept and they bear it and move on. So that is what the shloka says here. अनन्तरम् इतोपि एकमत्र वक्तुम् इष्टवान्. The words like Arsha and Vishadha, the special about these words are like it is not regular Anandaha or Anandandaha or Sukham or Dukkham. When you get Sukham and we get Ananda, we express that Ananda in some way. We either jump or we just say some words, aha, and all these things, and we express that Ananda or Sukham. And when the expression of the Sukham or Ananda is called as Arshaha. The Arshaha is not the feeling, which is the external expression that is due to the Sukham is called Arshaha. And Vishada is just the other way. The Dukkham, when somebody gets Dukkham, they express the Dukkham in the form of crying or some making some dull voice. These are the ways they express the Dukkham. Okay, and that expression is actually called as Vishadaha. So even if you take the first chapter, Arjuna Vishada Yogaha means, there Vishada means Arjuna expresses the Dukkham in the karna of, in the form of, I think we saw that, right? Shariram becomes loose and the Mukham Parisushyati, Shariram. So all these definitions we saw. Basically, he expresses the Dukkham in that particular form, and that is why it is called as Vishada, and that's why the first chapter is actually called as Arjuna Vishada Yogaha. So the word Arsha and Vishada means the expression of Sukham and Dukkham is actually called as Arsha and Vishada. And अत्र किम् उच्यते तेषु अर्षं विषादं वा मा कार्षिः इत्येव अत्र तात्पर्यम्. So never express the Sukham or Dukkham. You treat Sukham and Dukkham the same way because they both come and they go. So when you get any Dukkham, it is transient, they come and they go because it cannot stay longer, because it is anityam. The same property apply for Sukham also. Even if you get something very happy, it is also anityam. It will also go away sometime. So don't express Sukham and Dukkham. You be neutral, and that is the actual tatparyam of this shloka. So teshu arsham vishadam va ma karshihi iti artha.
नमस्कारः महोदय. अत्र
नमस्कारः.
सुखदुःखे पुनः नियतरूपे तद् अवगतं. यतो न व्यभिचारतः तद् न अवगतं महोदय. व्यभिचारतः
व्यभिचारतः means na parivartante अथवा na parivartete. They doesn't change. So the Vishya can produce the, like Tvak Indriyam can produce Shitam and Ushnam, and the Shitam can change its behavior. Shitam can produce sometimes Sukham and sometimes Dukkham. Similarly, Ushnam can produce sometimes Sukham and Dukkham. That means the Shitam and Ushnam, they keep changing their behaviors. But the final outcome, that Sukham and Dukkham, that doesn't change. Irrespective of whatever the Indriyams, irrespective of whatever the objects that they sense, the output is finally the Sukham or Dukkham. That doesn't change.
वस्तुतः बहवः प्रश्नाः आसन् महोदय पूर्वस्मिन् श्लोके. अस्मिन् श्लोके एव तेषाम् उत्तरं प्राप्तम् इति अहं मन्ये.
आम् आम् सत्यं.
सम्यक् आसीत् महोदय, सम्यक् आसीत् महोदय, धन्यवादः.
अस्तु, अत्र द्वितीयाध्यायस्य 15 श्लोकः. यं हि न व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषशर्षभा समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोऽमृतत्वाय कल्पते. अत्र पदच्छेदः. यं हि न व्यथयन्ति एते पुरुषं पुरुषशर्षभा समदुःखसुखं धीरं सः अमृतत्वाय कल्पते. तत्र सन्धिविचारः. यं हि तत्र अनुस्वारसन्धिः, व्यथयन्त्येते तत्र यणादेशसन्धिः, पुरुषं पुरुषशर्षभ इत्यत्र अनुस्वारसन्धिः, समदुःखसुखं धीरं तत्र पुनः अनुस्वारसन्धिः, धीरं सः तत्र अनुस्वारसन्धिः, पुनः सोऽमृतत्वाय तत्र विसर्गस्य रेफादेशे पुनः पूर्वरूपसन्धिः अन्ते. अतः सोऽमृतत्वाय कल्पते. अत्र पदपरिचयं पश्यामः चेत् व्यथयन्ति नाम चालयन्ति अथवा पीडयन्ति इति अर्थः. न व्यथयन्ति मीन्स् विच् डस् नाट् इम्पाक्ट्. इति अर्थः. व्यथयन्ति means which impacts, na व्यथयन्ति means it doesn't impact. And पुरुषं पुरुषशर्षभा, पुरुषशर्षभा नाम पुरुषः ऋषभः इव इति तत्र विग्रहवाक्यं. पुरुषः ऋषभः इव इत्युक्ते पुरुषः पुरुषेषु श्रेष्ठः इति तत्र तात्पर्यं. पुरुषशर्षभः इति रूपं. पुनः समदुःखसुखम्, अत्र दुःखं च सुखं च दुःखसुखे, समे दुःखसुखे यस्य सः इति समदुःखसुखः, तम् इति समदुःखसुखम्. इत्युक्ते सुखं च दुःखं च समम् इति यस्य भवति सः समदुःखसुखः. One who treats or for whom the dukkam and sukham both are equal, he is actually called samadukkhasukha. And dhiram, buddhiman panditah, tam iti dhiram iti ditya rupam. Anantara amrutattvaya, atra amrutattvaya ityasya mokshaya iti atra uchyate. अत्र मोक्षाय, अत्र मोक्षः इति अमृतत्वम् इति ज्ञातव्यम्. अत्र अमृतस्य भावः इति अमृतत्वम्. एवं पदपरिचयः. अनन्तरम् अन्वयं पश्यामः चेत्, हे पुरुषशर्षभ, हे अर्जुन, अत्र न व्यथयन्ति इति क्रियापदं, न चालयन्ति न पीडयन्ति. किं न चालयन्ति किं न पीडयन्ति? एते न व्यथयन्ति. अत्र एते नाम मात्रास्पर्शाः, अत्र इन्द्रियस्पर्शाः. From the previous shloka we should take. So इन्द्रियस्पर्शाः न चालयन्ति न पीडयन्ति. कं न चालयन्ति कं न पीडयन्ति? समदुःखसुखं धीरं पुरुषं एते इन्द्रियस्पर्शाः न चालयन्ति. These sense objects, the samyoga of indriyams, that doesn't affect the person who is pandita dhiraha, and who takes the dukkham and sukham equal, who treats the sukham and dukkham equally. He doesn't get affected with these indriya samyoga. So indriya samyogaha etam dhiram sama dukkha sukham purusham na vethayanti na chalayanti athva na pedayanti. It doesn't affect or it doesn't impact him. So saha amrutatvaya kalpate. Such a person who doesn't get affected with these sukham and dukkham, such a person, he leads to the moksha. He gets moksha. So tatha arthaha, saralaha arthaha. So here the tatparyam, when it comes to tatparyam, the previous shloka says titiksha is the actual thing that one should follow. So when you follow titiksha, the dukkham and sukham becomes equal. You will not have, you will never show arsha in the sukham. You will never show vishada in the dukkham. You treat both of them equal. You know that they come and they go. So you treat both of them as equal. Such a person will not get impacted by any of the indriya sparsha. So whatever happens around him, nothing will actually affect that particular person. When such a thing happens, that person gets the moksha. He can attain the moksha. So that means one should be neutral in all the conditions, and that is what will lead to the moksha. So I think that's what the actual meaning is. And vyakhyana pashyama chet yam hi purusham श्लोकतः पुनः समे दुःखसुखे यस्य तम् इति समदुःखसुखं विवरणं. पुनः सुखदुःखप्राप्तौ हर्षविषादरहितं धीरम्, इत्युक्ते सुखप्राप्तौ च दुःखप्राप्तौ च यः समः अस्ति, तन्नाम हर्षं न प्रकटयति विषादं न प्रकटयति, तादृशः हर्षविषादरहितः धीरः. अत्र धीरः इति तृतीया विभक्तौ हर्षविषादरहितं धीरं. धीरं नाम धीमन्तं पण्डितं. न व्यथयन्ति न चालयन्ति. किं न चालयन्ति? एते इत्युक्ते यथोक्ताः शीतोष्णादयः. So these Shitam and Ushnam, all these things doesn't affect that person. Why it doesn't affect? Because he and Nityatma Darshanat, they don't affect him. Because he sees Atma is Nityam and everything else is Anityam. All these things come and go. So he doesn't care about them. So those things doesn't affect him. अतः नित्यात्मदर्शनात् एते यथोक्ताः शीतोष्णादयः न हर्षविषादरहितं धीरं धीमन्तं न चालयन्ति. पुनः सः नित्यात्मस्वरूपदर्शननिष्ठः द्वन्द्वसहिष्णुः अमृतत्वाय अमृतभावाय मोक्षाय कल्पते इति अर्थः. इत्युक्ते तन्नाम कल्पते नाम समर्थः भवति. सः मोक्षप्राप्त्यर्थं सः योग्यः भवति इति तत्र तात्पर्यम्. So he becomes eligible to get moksha. Who gets eligible to get moksha? Nityatma Swarupa Darshana Nishtaha, one who has Nishta on Atmajnanam, and Dvandva Saishnu, one who can tolerate these dualities. Atra Dvandva Nama, Atra Shitam, Ushnam, and all such dualities. Whoever tolerates that person and who has the Atmajnana Nishtha, such a person is eligible to get the moksha. So tatha artha uchyate. Itascha shokamohau akritva shitoshnadi sahanam yuktam yasmat. So from this what we understand is shoka and moham, we should not have shoka and moha. And Shitam and Ushnam, all these Dvandvas, we should tolerate these Dvandvas. That is the meaning we get from this particular shloka. The previous shloka says what we should do when we have different experiences in this world. Only thing that we can do is the acceptance of them. That is the tolerate. We should just tolerate them and accept the things, first thing. And what happens if you accept and tolerate? And it actually leads you for moksha. That's the second shloka. The first shloka says what to do, and the second shloka says what is the phalam that we get if you follow titiksha. If we see the overall second chapter, especially the Atma Prakaranam, there from shloka number 12 to 25, they define about Atma properties, and shloka 14 and 15 that we have seen just now, that talks about the anatma. So all the shlokas from 12 to 25, they talk about atma. They define the lakshanams of atma. And 14 and 15, they talk about anatma, because the shitoshna and all these things are experienced by anatma. And you have to follow the titiksha, and that leads you for moksha. So this is not related to atma. This is something which instructs us what we should do in our loka. And these two shlokas little different in the entire set. So these two talks about the anatma, and the remaining all talks about the atma. That is all for today. Thank you all for watching this video online. If you have any feedback or if you have any suggestions, put them on the comment section. There is a feedback form in the description. You can also fill the feedback form. That can help to fine tune our future sessions. And if you like this video, please like this video and share this with your friends and interested people. And let us meet in the next session. Dhanyavadaha.